Hello and welcome back to our Iceland road trip as we make a circle all the way around the island counterclockwise via the Ring Road. We are Jordan and Soph. We left the US for a year-long trip around the world, which has landed us here in our 40th country. We started our journey in Iceland in the capital of Reykjavík after we had flown over from Ireland, where if you haven't seen that yet, we did do a road trip there as well. Once we were in Reykjavík, we started driving along the southern coast of Iceland. And after a week of driving and just popping up our little tent at night, we have gotten to see so much of Iceland's incredible natural beauty. At this point in the trip, we have lost track of all the beautiful waterfalls, hot springs, and amazing glaciers that we have seen, but we aren't done yet as we start our day on the northwest coast of Iceland and spend the day journeying to the Snaefellsnes Peninsula.
Number 7 here in Iceland.
We are currently in the northern part of this island, and we're starting our morning this morning at Iceland's oldest church.
The church was built in the 17th century. It was rebuilt, however, but it sits in just like the best spot for a church ever because it's just completely surrounded by a bowl of mountains, and all the way leading up to it is just an open field, so you have a great view of the church and then the mountains behind it.
So it was then rebuilt in the 1950s, and they rebuilt the graveyard to be the traditional way that it would have been, which is circular around the church rather than like a square next to it that you're used to seeing. So that's what makes it so unique looking. And yeah, we are almost to it. It's just a short walk from the parking lot. I absolutely love the buildings here that have the grass growing on the roofs. I think it is so pretty, and it is a dark black church. We've seen a lot of buildings that are kind of a darker color. This one almost looks like it's from weathering. You can see some wood exposed. It has a flag on the top that has the year 16 something. The other two numbers are broken off. It is also locked right now. I think sometimes it might be open. I thought it was supposed to be open. It's not right now though. But yeah, it's a super beautiful old Lutheran church and a great little stop on the road trip.
This was just a very quick little stop for us this morning because we want to get down to another natural hot spring that we have found before it gets too late in the day and it gets too busy. Last night we're at a very, very cool natural hot spring that was like overlooking the sea cliff. This one too looks very natural. Looks like you can just like walk up to it and use it for free. So we're excited to go check that out and try and find it. What a champ opening and closing the gate for us.
On to the next.
All right, we are now at our second stop of the day. It is a hot spring called Fosslaug. It's right next to a waterfall called Reykjafoss. So it's pretty easy to find. We just like searched for that waterfall, found a parking lot very nearby. Google Maps did take us to the other side of the river, so we had to backtrack a little bit. But we are now here walking the path down to the hot spring. We just put on our very cold and wet swimming suits from last night when we used them, which is never super fun. So I hope this hot spring is actually very hot.
This is our 5th hot spring for our road trip around Iceland. And unless we come across a random one, I think it's our last one. So hopefully it's good.
We're not breaking and entering. They allow people to come onto their private property. It's just there's also horses around here. So there's like a lot of fences you have to get over and a lot of gates you have to go through.
So this stop has an honesty box where they ask that you donate $5 into this little box since it is privately owned property. So Just something to keep in mind when you stop here. Almost no places on this trip have required cash. It's all been cardless, so you really don't have very much krona. But luckily we do have 5 British pounds. So this is by far the hottest hot spring that we have been in. Right over here, you can see it's bubbling up out of the rock, I think, and it is so toasty. I could barely get in here, but it is so nice once you get used to it. It feels like an actual hot tub, and we're right next to this river that turns into a waterfall. Like, I love Iceland. This is crazy. Back in the hot water. Well, that was a great hot spring to end on. It was so warm. Our bodies feel so nice and warm now. Even though we're walking back to the car, we just feel so cozy, and it's such a gorgeous spot having a hot spring right next to a river, right next to a waterfall.
We got so incredibly lucky though, because right as we were leaving, there was a family getting changed to head back to their car. And so we had the hot spring all to ourselves for a solid 5 or 10 minutes before the next group came. And then after the next group came, people just kept flowing in. And by the time we decided to leave, there was 10 people in that little hot pool. So like, it was a completely different experience for us because we got it to ourselves for such a long time, and now everyone's just over there kind of crowded into that one hot pool.
It definitely got to max capacity really quickly, so maybe try to get here early. We're here in the morning. It is about 10. Oh, it's already 10:30. We just got really lucky with the timing of it. So
Yes.
We're gonna head back to the car and hit the road again for our next stop. Give me a twirl. Let's see the style. Just rocking the coat over the swimsuit right now. Jordan's just rocking the towel. A whole like horse tour group just went past us, so that was a little bit awkward, but oh well, do what you gotta do. To the next canyon. So many canyons, but we just drove over the little bridge over top of it and it looks gorgeous. So another stop that I would say is worth it. We're having a little bit trouble deciding how we want to spend our afternoon because there's so many options up on these different peninsulas. However, everything we want to go to is pretty far away. Nothing is super close to the ring road kind of in this specific stretch. So we're like, do we go super far north and try to see more seals, although we saw seals in the south? Do we go to a Viking Longhouse that it's believed that maybe Erik, is it Erik the Red? No, there's Erik. Leif the Lucky might have lived at. We're a little bad on our Norse history. We're trying to decide in the car as we are being too lazy to get out there and walk to this canyon.
It's gotten really bad. We like get to the spot and then we just kind of sit here for several minutes usually before we actually get up and go. It is day 7, 6, somewhere in there, and we're feeling it. We're exhausted.
We're so tired and it's cold here. It is. So going from hot, cold, but we really can't complain.
That being said, time to go look at the canyon.
Time to go look at it. Well, this was another great stop and another gorgeous waterfall. And while we were here, we decided that next we are going to go to Erik or Leif, I'm not sure who, their longhouse for our next stop. Kind of switch it up a bit and learn some more about the Viking history here. So it looks really cool. I know it's a reconstructed longhouse, but that's what we are going to plan to check out next. It is a few hours down the road, but that's all right. We will start going down the west coast now and leaving the north behind. So sad, it's going so fast.
I will not miss paying $9 for a gallon of gas at all. The gas tank on this Jeep is actually pretty small. It's only, I don't know, maybe 12 gallons. But even though it's so small, it's still like $50 every single time we get gas, because I usually only let it get down to about half full before trying to find somewhere to get gas, just because like you can go for miles without any gas pumps at all. But yeah, every time it's $50.
Just made it to the parking lot. We need to go buy tickets so that we can go inside. I believe it has very limited hours. It's only open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. It's 3 p.m. so we have about an hour to check it out.
Well, that was spendy. It was like $20 per person to get in. If we had known it was going to be that much, we probably would have just cut this stop out and done something else today, but we had gotten all the way here before we found out, and I was like, oh, we're already here, so okay, yes, we'll pay for it. So hopefully this one little building is very cool and has a lot of information on the inside to make it feel worthwhile. And leather shoes. Right. We just hopped in the car. It has gotten quite a bit colder outside and it's very windy around here. However, the museum was lacking some information. I was really hoping there would be a little bit more explanation about the history of the place and just some more general information about the Vikings. I probably wouldn't recommend coming all the way out here just for this. However, if you are really into the Vikings, then maybe it is a worthy stop for you.
So what is so interesting about this place is that in this area, it is believed that Erik the Red lived here. Now the longhouse is a replica. However, it's built on top of where they found archaeological evidence that there was a longhouse there. So they built it off of their findings. Erik the Red was father to Leif the Lucky, who of course was the Viking who sailed over and explored parts of Northern America and got as far south potentially as New York and kind of explored the New World back in the 10th century. So really interesting that this is an area that they would have lived in. Leif the Lucky might have been born here, somewhere in this area, and then from here they of course explored Greenland and then the New World after that. So next we're headed down to Snaefellsnes Peninsula, where we're going to be spending the whole day checking out tomorrow for our last day on our road trip around the Ring Road. I found a restaurant online that I want to check out tonight in one of the towns along the northern part of the peninsula, so we're going to drive an hour and a half down there, see if it's open. It's supposed to open at 6, and grab some dinner because we are very hungry and it's cold, so it'll be a really cozy way to end the day here. So we just rolled up to the campground. We got to this town. We ended up finding a little cafe. It didn't have great options. It was super expensive, but we ended up getting some soup. It was a place where we could charge our electronics for a little bit, have Wi-Fi, and chill. And neither of us have ever been this tired in our whole lives.
We are so dead.
We're so tired. We can barely keep our eyes open. We just got to the campsite in this town. It looks very, very basic. The bathrooms look small, and there's not really any good spots left. It's basically just an open grass lot. Unfortunately, we got here kind of late, so we're kind of squished at the end of a bunch of other vehicles, but we're so tired. We're just gonna crash, and it is what it is.
One last day. Tomorrow we drop off the rental Jeep. We're done with our road trip, so we do need our beauty sleep tonight to be ready for the last day.
Tomorrow we're checking out the full peninsula here. There's a lot of stops just in this one little peninsula area, so we're going to make the absolute most of it before we drop our vehicle off. Tonight is our last night in our little pop-up camper tent, which, am I sad about? Yes, I am.
A little bit.
I am sad about it.
But will the Airbnb bed be nice?
Cold. So we hope you enjoyed watching this 6th, I think. I don't know. We were probably
7.
getting this wrong. We're going to go back and we're going to realize we've had the days all wrong. Anyway, thank you for watching this day on the northern half of Iceland. We've been having an amazing time. It's really such a beautiful country. So we will see you very soon in the next one as we check out the peninsula.